Now we have to choose the entering variable. Now we have to choose the entering variable, because already S1, S2, S3 are there, which will not fetch any value, or their value of S1, S2, S3 are zeros. But whereas we know by observing Cj minus Zj values, by introducing x1 we can get 6 rupees per unit as benefit. By introducing x2 as benefit, by introducing x2 into the solution, we can get 4 rupees as benefit. So naturally, when 6 and 4 are our choice, we can introduce the variable which gives us better profit. So in that case, what we need to do is we have to choose whichever gives us better benefit. So naturally, x1 is giving 6 rupees benefit. So what we do is we will select this x1, which will give us, okay, we will write these Cj values 6, 4, 0, 0, 0. x1 is 6, x2 gives us 4 rupees, s1 0, s2 0, s3 0. So CB, cost benefit, we will take this as usually, whatever the values we have, the variables s1, s2, s3, and the available materials or resources or constraints are given here. That is, here we have mentioned. And now we'll write the same coefficients as we have taken from the problem earlier, based on the constraints, where we have converted them into equalities or equations. So the same thing we are writing, but our purpose of writing this is only to find out which variable has to enter. Just we'll see how we are going to work on this. So Zj is equal to 0, 0, because 1 into 0, the same thing what we have done, we are putting that only here. And then net evaluation row we will write as it is, net evaluation row, that is Cj minus Zj, that is 6, 4, 0, 0, 0. Now to find out this, we have to, so 6 would be our obvious choice. We'll mark it with arrow because 6 rupees is better benefit. So first of all we introduce which relates to x1. So here, in order to find the pivot row, what we'll do is we'll calculate something known as minimum ratio, which is given by xb divided by xi. So here 720 is here, 720 divided by, this is we call as pivot column, because this is the entering variable which is giving the highest benefit. 720 divided by 1 will give us 720, and then this 780 divided by 2, this will give us 390, and 320 divided by 1 will give us 320. So whichever is the minimum among these things, that should be the pivot column, sorry, pivot row. This is pivot column, this we call this as pivot row. Now we will compute the new values for each row. Once x1 is introduced, what are the new values? How we will write here is computing computing new values for each row. So how we are going to get this new row? To get new value is equal to old row number, which of this is new row number. New row number is equal to old row number minus corresponding number in pivot row into corresponding fixed ratio. We'll see how we are going to calculate that. This is the formula we'll be using this. So for fixed ratio we'll use old row number in pivot column divided by pivot number. Pivot number is the number which is at the intersection of pivot row and pivot column. Here for top row, first row we will see what is the fixed ratio. Because we have to rewrite those rows. Fixed ratio for first row is equal to 1 divided by 1, that is equal to 1. So first row numbers we will write, it is like this. First row numbers, entire row we have to replace with these things, that is 720 minus 1 into 1 will give us 400. Then 1 minus 0 into 1 is equal to 0. Then 2 minus, we got that 0 into 1 is equal to 2. Then 1 minus 0 into 1 is equal to 1. Then 0 minus 0 into 1 will give us 0. Similarly, 0 minus 1 into 1 will give us minus 1. So these values we have to put it in the first row. Then fixed ratio for second row. How will get this? This is 2 by 1 is equal to 2. So the values we calculate second row numbers. Here also we should write numbers. Second row numbers is 780 minus 320 into 2, which will give us 140. Then 2 minus 1 into 2 give us 0. 1 minus 0 into 2 give us 1. 0 minus 0 into 2 is equal to 0. 1 minus into 2 is equal to 1. 0 minus 1 into 2 will give us minus 2. These are all the second row values. Then we will develop the other table putting these numbers.